I know that there's different teachings amongst different tribes, and some tribes, from my knowledge, and they're really careful on saying their Indian names and letting people know their Indian names. But around a ceremonial setting and around the setting that we're in, it's okay to acknowledge ourselves, and our belief is important to acknowledge ourselves and our Indian names, to connect with the Creator and the creation, because from my understanding and my teachings from my grandparents, everything that we're doing here upon creation is happening up in the universe too. And when we were born, we come from the stars, and I'll get into that. We come from the stars, and we're born here in a human form, and at that same time, there's another one of us born in the universe, and we're doing the same thing. Everything that we do upon this creation, that other us that's up there in the universe is doing the same thing. And then there's gonna come a point where that energy and that entity of us up there is gonna come down here and be with us here. And at that point, anything that we're doing is gonna have that strong power. And that's the connection that we have with our universe and our creation of Creator up there. And I just wanted to share that my grandparents, when we were probably about 5 or 6 years old, they would sit us down, and I remember a story that they shared with us. My grandma, my mom's mom, and she told me, she said, my boy, she said, you really gotta be careful on how you think. You really gotta be careful on how you utilize your mind. Is anything that you think of, anything that you put your mind to, and come about, whether it may be bad or whether it may be good, however it is. Creator, Wakanta Katokashila, she said, my boy, he gave you a special gift. A spirit living in this human form here, the most powerfulest gift that he gave you was your mind. In your mind, you could think of something, concentrate on anything. So hard. And then in a white man's philosophy, they call it the law of attraction. They say that you think of something so much, manifestation of the mind, is that thought from your spirit in this human form, it bounces up into the galaxy, you send it up there. And then up there, Wakantaka, the creator of creation, he has these helpers and these beings that control everything. They control everything, and they know what's gonna happen before anything even happens. And that thought from your mind bounces up there into the universe and the galaxy from different places. And one of those beings, if you think about it hard enough and you want it, you want it to the max for yourself and be able to send that up, they're gonna hear it for you and they're gonna send it down and make it that way for you. So that's why we gotta be careful on how we utilize our mind, because we can make something happen, even if we're thinking, not so good, or thinking over here, and put our prayers and our mind and our manifestation into something real good, real nice, real beautiful. It's gonna happen that way too. But that was something that my grandma told me, was that, my boy, don't be thinking, especially around a ceremonial setting, don't be thinking bad thoughts, because that can hurt somebody. It can go and maybe somebody ain't even being targeted, or you're not thinking about that person, but they cross paths and then they get hit by that thought. And that thought alone can hinder their lives, or hinder their well-being and their health, or however it may be, that thought. So that's just a little teaching that my grandma, wanted to share that story with you that she shared with me. And it goes along with the creation of our Lakota people. There's a story that comes from the Makasicha, and my wife, she's wearing Quillwork right here. Myself, I was blessed when I was a little kid. My grandma's taught me how to quill. And in there, they say that there was this old woman she's a spirit. To this day, she's still living in the Black Hills inside of a cave. And she's quilling this chief blanket. Yay big, way big. It has a strip down the middle that she's working on. Porcupine quill. She take the air out with her teeth. She pull that quill out and then she sew it down, be tacking it. Myself, I've been quilling for almost 25 years now, and it's hard, it's tough. It's tough on your arms, tough on your hands, your fingers, everything. Even my teeth kind of got a little worn out from smashing quills. And they said that she's sitting there to this day, wrapping this quill blanket for the chief, wrapping it, sitting in that cave. She's sitting there, and meanwhile, she's over here, has a pot, and she has soup and a wojapi berry stew. She goes over there, she puts it down, and she goes over there and kind of stirs that soup up, stirs this wojapi. In that cave, she has a little puppy that lives with her, just her and that little puppy. When she walked over to where that soup was and that wojapi, she stirred it up and she came back over here. And that puppy had chewed up every single last bit of piece of quillwork that she was doing. Chewed it up. But she never got mad at it. She never got mad at it. She kind of even just gave it a little bit of food and petted it and gave it compassion and love. She sat down and she'd be going again, quilling. And then she'd come over here, be time to stoke up the fire. She's cooking. Turn around, that puppy did the same thing. All this time, all these generations, she's been doing this. And that little puppy's been taking that quillwork apart. It's taking her apart. While she's doing this, she's in prayer. And each time she takes the air out of that porcupine quill, it's sending it up and it's healing the ozone layer. That's what our belief is. It's healing the ozone layer, giving that protection layer. And then she'd be going and going and going. Stir it up again. Come back. That puppy did. That was my dog. I was like, hey. But she never, said anything bad to that puppy. She never kicked it. She never hurt it. She never did anything. But in that teaching, the teaching that came out of this story for myself is to be compassionate, to have love, to be able to have patience. All these different important things in our walk of life, and to be mindful of where we live and be happy and be thankful for where we live, protect it and everything. They say that when she's done, the world will be done. So that's just the story that was told to me before I was able to quilt. Before I was able to quilt, my grandma's told me that story. And that's what they say, that when she's done making that chief's blanket, then that's the time the world's gonna end, that fourth stage. Well, thank you for your attention here. And then,